The 22nd century was a time of great upheaval. Climate change and famine led to mass migrations and to wars between the nations of the day. Governments fell, new ones arose, and many of them fell in turn. What a hopeful change it must have seemed when, near the turn of the 23rd century, the leading nations of the day began to send manned ships to seek out new homes for humankind. Like night into day, the dawning of a new age, the age of the great starships. For nearly 2 decades, a relative peace ruled over our little terra aqueous globe. Tools of destruction became instruments for the construction of gigantic vessels powered by Alcubierre warp cores. Then a new and exciting technology. South Asia, then East Asia, and finally the West launched daring missions with their tiny crews on the longest journeys ever attempted by human beings. Enormous by the standards of the day, the largest of them was scarcely 1/10 the mass of a modern compound harvester. Yet it was a time of hope for a desperate world. But it did not last. And why? Were the costs too high, as some said? Perhaps it was because the projects produced little of day-to-day, bread-on-the-table value beyond the jobs created by their construction. Whatever the reason, the nations involved, one by one, descended into despair, and then disarray. Soon, war, that seemingly constant companion of human governments, came back into vogue. As the philosopher Robert Barron once wrote, it was as if the masses, despairing of ever enjoying their own time in the sun, sought to plunge the whole world into darkness. But an ember lingered on in the endless dark, that new world ocean between the stars. Records from the time tell us that many held fast to the hope that one or more of the great starships would return, reminding us that we are not simply a nationality or a creed, but that we are human. The last of the great starships was due to return to Earth in 2273. To date, not one has returned.